Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, your source for Second Amendment news. You know, over the last 8 or 9 years, all of the anti-gun advocacy groups come out and say that anybody who thinks that people are trying to take your guns, or you're just fear-mongering, or you're paranoid, nobody's coming to get your guns, we're not trying to ban guns, blah, 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 blah. Yet, week after week after week, the opposite proves true. And that's going to be what this video is about. Now, I'm going to explain the problem, and I'm also going to explain the fix that was submitted this week too. So stick by with me and hear the whole thing if you can. Now this video has to do with William Johnson, who's a disabled Marine veteran, and his wife Jill, who were both residents of Michigan. Now without getting into the family situation, they were asked by the state to foster their grandchild, and which grandparents wouldn't do that? So they were going to foster their grandchild. And here's where the enraging part comes. They were told they would have to give up their Second Amendment rights to be a foster parent to their own grandchild. Yes, that's what they were told, and in fact, they launched a suit last week to stop this. So I'm going to read some excerpts from this case. I know you're going to be as angry as I am, but you need to pay attention to this because this isn't the only state that this stuff's happening in. So according to the complaint, the Johnsons arrived to pick up the grandchild at the MDHHS facility, and that, if you really want to know, that's the Health and Human Services Department for Michigan. Okay, so that's where they went to go pick up their grandchild. Now William, a Marine, someone who knows how to handle weapons, also has a concealed carry license in the state of Michigan. Well, he was ordered to produce his concealed carry permit, even though he wasn't carrying at the moment. He was ordered to produce his concealed carry permit. And he was also ordered to supply the serial numbers of every single one of his weapons in his home. And that's when the caseworkers and a judge told the family that they would have to surrender certain constitutional rights, including their Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms, in order to foster this child. Now remember, nobody's coming to take your guns. Nobody's trying to ban guns. Here's the part that drove me over the moon. Okay, and I'm going to read it so I don't screw it up because it's a direct quote. This complaint quotes the judge as stating, quote, "We know we are violating numerous constitutional rights here. But if you do not comply, we will remove the boy from your home." Can you believe that? And it goes on further. The Johnson's claim also says that the caseworkers told them that, quote, "there will not be a power struggle, that they would just take the grandson and place him in a foster home if he didn't give up his guns." Really? No one's coming to take your guns, right? And it doesn't stop there. There's a second party that's suing the state because they did the same thing to them. This person, Mr. Mason, is a pastor at a Baptist church. His wife is a published author. Okay, so a fine, upstanding family. Mr. Mason is also a concealed carry permit holder in the state of Michigan, as well as an NRA certified range officer. So obviously this person has some training behind them. They have gone on record in this lawsuit saying that they want to foster children to help kids out, but they have stopped. They've refrained from doing it because they don't want to give up their Second Amendment civil right. Does anybody remember what a civil right is anymore? Let me pause for a second because you might want to think. It's an inalienable right. It can't be taken away. They're rights given by God, yet they're denying a man of God his rights given to him by the Creator. Does that make sense? Now, the lawsuit goes on to claim the plaintiff's constitutional rights were violated, not just the Second Amendment right, but due process and equal protection. This isn't the only state doing this. Last year, there was a similar lawsuit filed in Oklahoma because they were doing the same thing. And there are also similar laws in Florida, Nevada, and Texas that the NRA has filed suit to stop that discrimination against Second Amendment holders, gun owners as well. It's crazy. It goes to say something that these anti-gun people want to tell you that nobody's coming to take your guns. Yet, they're so insistent that their agenda be followed for the safety of a child that they will rip a child away from its own family because the person doesn't want to give up a civil right. Not that they were charged with some type of enumerated violation of a law that makes them unlicensable, makes them a prohibited person, but because they just want that person's Second Amendment rights to be taken away. Now this surprised me because Michigan is one of those states where carrying a gun is like the social fabric. Everybody does it. It's not like states here in the Northeast like Massachusetts and Connecticut and New York and Maryland where we're the evil people because we want to have guns to protect ourselves. The nerve! Crazy. This drives me insane. If you like this type of information, please hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing to this channel, because this is where you're going to get the fastest Second Amendment news right here on Guns and Gadgets. Till we see each other again, I appreciate your time more than you know. I appreciate all the support. Be safe. Stay vigilant. Carry your weapon. Take care, everybody.